right, so. Hey, Larry, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Trevor.
When was the last time we saw one another?
September, right before the hurricane.
Right before,
I was down here.
I think so.
Was it September? No, it was.
No,
it was before that. I was down here. It was NAMM.
Think the last time I saw you was NAMM.
Yeah, it was NAMM. And then I was here and couldn't get here. Couldn't see you guys during September.
Yes, things got a little haywire.
Yeah.
So,
but NAMM, that was a blast.
Yeah, and you're ready for NAMM again this year.
I am always ready for NAMM.
April this year.
April. That's a little different, but yes.
A little different. They're working their way back. I think that's what they're doing. They're working their way back to what,
June,
January,
April.
Yeah. I think next year
is normal.
Is normal. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to do the Nashville NAMM again though.
I think not this year, but I think next year in 2024, I think NAMM full is back. I believe. All right. Summer NAMM and Winter NAMM is back then.
Sweet.
I believe.
Well, I'm excited, and we're doing a lot this year with NAMM Studio Zine over in Germany.
Oh yeah.
We're going.
Okay.
I think that's July 7th and 8th. So, and then
dude, I think I'm in Germany and France from June 8th to at least July 8th, and I might extend it for. Where in Germany is it? Mannheim?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay,
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, but
I might pop in if I'm there.
On that. Yeah, I mean, Chris, Ryan, and Ian will be going over there.
Okay.
I spoke to my wife about it. I said, hey, I might want to go to this. And she just looked at me and she goes, if you think you're going out of the country without me, you're out of your mind. And I was like, all right, sounds good. Maybe next year. But then we'll be in AES also in October up in New York.
Okay.
So if you're around, that's where we'll be. But,
is that at the Javits Center?
Yes. Yes, we did our first one end of last year.
Okay,
yeah. And it's weird saying the end of last year now. So, but like, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
2023. So, so why don't you catch us up about what's been going on with you? Like, I know you've been a busy guy, as from what I've been seeing.
I have been traveling a little bit. At the end of the year, I finished opening shows for a friend of mine named Steve Vai, great guitar player, great musician, and his awesome band. I played solo though, but I went on the road, and my friend Katie Martin, you remember?
Yes,
we did a show here once before.
Yes, she is around here somewhere.
She's around here. Thankfully,
I see you.
Thankfully, last minute, she said, I could come on the road and help sell merch for you. And I was like, do I really need a merch? Oh, yeah. And she actually was at the first show that I opened for Steve in Atlanta. And she took over the merch and rocked it. And then she came on the road with me and rocked the whole thing, and even sold a broken yo-yo for $40. Wow. Yeah. She painted on it and made the value increase.
Well, you left us a yo-yo last time you came through.
Oh, that's right. I bear no gifts.
Which no, that's okay.
No
that's
offerings.
Okay. That's okay. We are still decluttering.
Okay.
We are in the process of throwing things out and everything. So we don't have the space just yet.
Okay.
But soon we'll have the space. So how was tour? Like how was the crowd reaction, the reception?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I do have to say in the beginning, a lot of times because I got added to it last minute. So a lot of people had no idea what was going to be there. Oh. And including the venues. Oh. Show up and they're like, what? There's no opener. I'm like, yeah, there's an opener. They go up the chain of command and find, all right, you're right over here. But so in the beginning, I went on like as soon as the doors opened, and it took a minute for people to realize that I was actually
like
performing.
A part of the show.
And then, so there were a couple of times where I would start playing the show, and there would just be a few people in their seats, and there'd be a bunch of people in the lobby, and then they look in, and then all of a sudden, by the end of this first song, they're all coming in.
Yeah.
But then about the third show in, I think it was, Steve came to me and goes, "Do you want to jam?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so I would open the show, do a 30-minute set, and then I wanted to get off the stage and run to where Katie was set up and meet people and talk about merch and sell merch and stuff. And then I'd come back and hang out, and Steve would bring me on stage and we would jam, which was a blast. I always loved jamming with Steve.
I mean, he seems like a fantastic. Well, I've never met him, but he seems like a killer. Well, first off, like I have attempted to play guitar with you, and I'm not the best with music theory just yet, but I'm working on it.
Neither am I. Neither am I.
So, I look forward to jamming again with you.
Yeah.
Eventually. Not today. My chops aren't up to par right now, but
just have fun.
Oh, what? That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're having fun, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Music is meant to be shared. It has nothing to do with chops.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah, I play bass on a feeling. It's weird. It's not weird. I guess that's how a lot of people would do it like that. So this might be B-roll right here. But who knows? This might be great content. But I've seen the likes of you and met you and like how you play. And one of the things I love about your playing style is the fact that you utilize the whole entire neck of a guitar. You go through and you go down, you're all over the place.
Got to hit all the notes.
Got it. Yeah, you got it. They're there for a reason.
Sometimes people don't want you to hit all the notes, but you got to hit all the notes a couple of times.
But the one thing that I just love about you though is again, like it is, you take advantage of the whole entire neck, but also every time you're playing, your smile does not leave your face. Like you love it. You love what you're doing.
I do, and I'm happy to be playing. I'm happy any day I can get up and play.
Yeah.
Any day I can get up and play and somebody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
That's even more exciting. So I'm thankful, and I'm, when I'm playing, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
That's
I smile.
I would love to see. Do you have like any footage of you and Steve playing?
I do.
Oh yeah,
I do.
Oh well, maybe we can like add it to this. Just like maybe like
sure.
If you got it, just to see, or maybe a photo. I don't know. Like, but I want to see you guys go up against
and
one
I got
another.
Sure.
Yeah.
When I jam with Steve, it's not like a competition. It's because I've jammed with Steve quite a bit. I teach at his camp, and I've taught at Vai Academy 3 years. The Vai Academy 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, all right.
And I've gotten to jam with Steve a bit. I've jammed with him at other clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's always a blast.
Yeah.
Usually he just turns to me. This was the first time it was different. Usually if I know I'm going to jam with Steve, because a lot of times I don't know. But when I've known I was going to jam with Steve, he'll say, "Oh yeah, we're going to do this song. We're going to do White Shade or Pale." I'm like, okay. So I learn the song, get on stage. Steve looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, just start something funky." Like,
what? Just putting you on the spot.
Just watch it. It's fine. That's my thing. I can do that. Yeah. Just play something. Make it groove, whatever. And then we start jamming. This particular time on the tour, we actually it was semi like that. When he brought me up, we played one of his songs, but then they twisted it and turned the song, so it was a bit of a jam.
Oh, that's
cool.
Of a,
it's like we're just gonna have this semi freeform. Bluesy rock thing for a minute.
I really miss that. Like seeing bands do that live. Maybe I'm just not seeing the right bands live. Like it could be that too. But
for a minute there, I thought that improv was a dying sport.
What? Oh, sorry. I don't have my glasses on.
So for a minute there, I thought that improv was like a dying thing.
Yeah.
Because remember, 70s was all about the improv. You played the song and you get to the end of the song, it's like, it's going to be doing something different. And the 80s was very structured.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how to even describe the 90s. But
the 90s seemed like it was trying to break some rules a little bit and just be maybe not like it was still structured, but to me it was in a more
controlled chaos.
Yeah, controlled chaos. That would be exactly what I would think. So controlled chaos. The 90s felt like just everybody was just trying to figure out who the hell they were.
Yeah.
Like even if you were already established. Like you were still trying to figure out something different, something new or whatever. Maybe you're bending your genre just a little bit.
Well, yeah, 90s were confusing because like in the 80s, late 80s, it was terrifying to be a guitar player because you had to start at Eddie Van Halen and you had to be like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani. And you had to know all this theory and all these clinics and stuff like that. And then Nirvana came out and said, screw that.
Well, yeah.
and it brought an essence of rock and roll that I think had been missing. Like, I love it all.
Oh,
but
it's coming back too. Like that grunge sound is...
Well, even not necessarily even grunge, but just like, all right, 3 chords is all you need.
Yeah.
And didn't need as much theory. And then, so that changed. That was, like I said, it was a slightly controlled chaos. And then it's gotten back into like people want to learn again and do stuff. And, but you can never lose that element of like, I just want to pick up guitar and play 3 chords and rock out.
Yeah.
In the 80s, we lost a little bit, late 80s, we lost a little bit of that, you know. And like I said, because you know, guitar. Every music store was doing guitar clinics. It was filled with people, and the key word was modes and all this stuff. And you know, and you had to be an insane technical player. And then that shifted overnight. So what that did was that it brought a voice to a whole group of different people that were playing. It got back to, I've always said, you can take a high school kid and teach them 3 chords, that's 1,000 songs, and they could be popular in a short amount of time. But then you had, I was at the edge of the shred era kind of thing. You had all the guys who were technically proficient, guys and girls who were technically proficient on their instrument, and they did this stuff. But again, I think what was missing was that essence of like, it's fun, it's rock and roll.
Yeah.
And so everybody that was a big part of the 80s were like, what do we do now? You know, nobody wants to hear you play a lot. And the solos were missing for a while.
Yeah.
And then in the early 2000s, guitar almost disappeared from a lot of pop rock.
Yeah.
But you can never kill guitar. It goes away and it comes right back.
No, and history is always going to repeat itself with music. It seems like there's been bands that have been going back and trying to bring like big band elements back into things, and just like I think that band Panic at the Disco is a pretty good example of that.
I'm not familiar with them. Okay.
Oh, Panic at the Disco?
Nope.
All right. Well, you'll be familiar.
Okay.
Like if you heard a song, you'd probably know it.
Okay.
But speaking of technicalities and everything, well, not technicality. Is that what I'm meaning? Technicalities? Technical aspects?
Technical aspects.
The technical aspects of your playing and your writing. Yes. Yes. So, Tease stuff. So, on to Tease stuff. What would you consider, or how about this? What exactly is your writing process and also your recording process?
So I have 2 different answers for that, for each one.
It was 2 different questions, so that's good.
I have 2 different answers for each question. For me as an artist, I am stimulated by sounds and environment. So I travel a lot and I go to a new place, and I don't necessarily write in a lot of places. Like if I'm in big cities, it's too much stimulation. But there are ideas that come, and maybe if I'm playing my guitar, usually when you're in a big city, everything's hustled and bustled and there's pressure and stuff.
Too many people.
Even and I grew up in a big city. So if I'm playing and I'm at a sound check or something like that, I'm able to, if I am triggered by a new sound or something that stirs up creativity, I will pull up my phone and I'll set a date, or even though it's a digital file. And as I get older, I'm like, and I'm starting out on the 5th fret, so I don't lose what's going on. And then I'll record like a little bit of what I was doing. And then if I'm in a place like here in Florida, if I am at the Atlantic Center for the Arts, I might actually work on a whole piece. I remember I was visiting a friend in Nashville, and it was a great place. It was quiet and stuff like that. And I wrote almost all of Love's Last Cry on a couple of records ago, in that day of just hanging out there. I started like, let me record it on my phone, but I ended up fleshing out most of the song that way. And then when I get ready to do a record, I listen. Usually I have 40, 50 ideas on the phone, and some of them you listen to them, you go, yeah, that was okay, and oh, that's somebody else's song, or like that was cool, that might work. And if it stays in my head for a while, then I might go, I'm going to work on it. and then I'm in my studio and I'm working on it. As far as the recording process, sometimes I try to work as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, in the past, digital is the quickest way to do that.
Yeah.
Open up a session and stuff like that. I have an analog console. I have a Trident Series 65 T24 I used to use all the time. I got it mainly to track drums, and then I was doing other stuff. But then I think in 2018, I didn't do much stuff. I hadn't recorded any drummers or anything. I didn't mix anything out of it. 2019, I wasn't home much at all, and then 2020 happened, and nobody was coming to the studio. So Katie came, and my friend Jeannie Karen, I produced her record as well as Katie's, but I wasn't using the board. The end of last year, not the end of last year, end of the year before,
2021,
the end of 2021, I said I want to get back into the analog thing, and use the board. I have the board. So that's when I sought out Audioscape and got some more analog gear. And I'll go in. The reason I'm telling you this is for the process of working with other people. But I would just I have a bass close by. I have a guitar. When I lived in New Mexico, I had a drum set close by. I'm not a great drummer, but I know how to edit. I can play and edit. I'm working on fixing that whole thing now, actually, too. But I have keyboards, controllers. I have guitar synth controller. So I would do things like that. I have percussion instruments. I can play a mean shaker.
Oh, nice. I think I got one of those too. I think it's just filled with salt though.
I like the alternate things. So I'll work that way. When I work with singer-songwriters, if I co-write and it's not production co-writing, or if we sit down and work on stuff, again, we sit down, they'll be like, I have this, but I don't have a bridge.
Yeah.
And so we're working. What's interesting is I still write and do most things from my gut. And then when you get stuck, the little knowledge I have of music theory is where that comes in. If you get stuck, it's like, oh, all right, I know what we could try this and try. I don't write from that perspective because I don't know if that's as interesting, at least for me. But you write from the gut, and then when your gut gets you in trouble, you go, "Oh, I can do this, I can do that," because you have the what connects to this and what connects to that.
Yeah.
And then as far as recording now, when I work with other artists, I had always had 2 channels of quality analog front end. That's from the beginning. And I stepped it up. I would trade things and buy different stuff. It was all about keeping 2 channels because I record a lot of guitar stuff in stereo. And then sometimes I work with singer-songwriters that play guitar and sing at the same time. So I need to capture, 2 good microphones, 2 mic pre's. If the mic pre's had compressors, great. If they, or if I had compressors, and then 2 good channels of converters. Nobody talks about converters anymore.
And not a lot of people do.
It was every year. It was like, oh, these converters are better back in,
I mean, every now and then. No, what?
I got links. Aurora. Those are nice.
Oh yeah,
those are great. Those are great.
All right, so all right, that just messed me up. Sorry.
It's a recording.
So all right, so now that was the writing process, and now recording and everything.
So I had 2 channels, and then I got better, and then I needed 4 channels, and so I upgraded to that, which is it's at high quality. I'm talking about high quality, and then I would always want to. Like when I was at home and I was tracking, if I tracked drum kit at home, a drummer coming in or whatever, I would have to borrow high quality to keep everything at the same level of quality. So I have a good friend, John Kurzweig. He produced Creed and Puddle of Mud.
Oh, cool.
And Godsmack, and he's got just insane great gear.
Oh.
And so I could borrow stuff from John or rent it from him, and it depends on the kind of budget and stuff like that. But at one point I was like, I don't want to keep bugging John. I want to get, all right, I'm going to try and bite the bullet and get like 8 more mic pre's
Yeah.
and some compressors. And it's like, oh, that's a crazy amount of money. And then on Craigslist, I found someone selling the Trident in Santa Fe when I lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I got that. And it's like, I'm all set. So now, in a long way around it, I'm back to trying to commit to mixing 2 projects a year at full analog. And I have 6 channels in my studio all set. So there's I have a Bronner VM1 microphone into the Brent Everell Neve, into an Audioscape 1176F, and into an Audioscape Opto, LA2A, and that's for the main vocal in the vocal booth.
That's a good chain.
And then I have the I love it. And then
It's a really good chain.
For recording acoustic guitar, I have the Townsend, the modeling mic, and that goes straight in. And then I use UAD plugins for that, and it works great because it's a one microphone that can become a stereo, two separate microphones.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
I don't think I've ever messed with it, so
it's cool. And then I have a Slate modeling mic that I don't use as a model mic by my piano. It's just a great sounding microphone.
Yeah.
It's like I used to use the models on it, but it just sounds great as a nice microphone. And I have that going into a Universal Audio LA610. So it has a opto type compressor in it. And then I have an Avalon for the bass or for a second microphone. That's where I shoot my live stream, my electric live stream. But that's if there's a singer standing out there, or sometimes for percussion. So I have an SM7B out there for the rock singers, and I also have a U87 out there as well.
Oh, nice.
And then I have what am I missing? Oh, and I have those are going into 2 Heritage Audio Neves.
Oh, cool.
And into 2 distressors. And
nice.
But I was just talking a little while ago about I might want to get another opto.
Yeah,
I think I want to get an opto.
So that's on your bucket list. Is that your resolution for this year?
I think that might be.
Yeah,
that might be.
Yeah, get an opto.
I can't tell you when I got the opto. I think I sent you a message when I got the Audioscape opto. I just wanted to check it out. So the quickest way for me to check it out, since I sing horribly, is I plugged a Godin acoustic guitar into it, and I was like, "Well, this sounds amazing," and I just kept twisting and turning. I was like, "This sounds amazing." And then Katie came over, and my friend Wade came over, and they sang into it. I'm like, and that helped me realize what I love about analog. I mean, technology today is good. Digital technology is great. What a bigger difference is when you work on a plugin, you have the mouse and you change, you move things around. When you have analog, and I love analog that has simple controls. You take your right hand, you take your hands on the knobs. You have your hands on both the knobs, and you find sounds by going like this, and you do extremes. Right? Because you can put it back instantly. Yeah. You can't do that with a mouse. You kind of go turn one knob, then go to the other one, and you go, oh, no, that's not right. Then when your hands are there, you're automatically compensating. Yeah. You know, you squeeze, you bring up the compression and it lowers the volume, so you turn the volume up, the gain up a little bit, back and forth. And
I think, one of my favorite things about just analog gear in general is that it's like immediate results that you just hear like immediately, and also you don't have to worry about getting the beach ball of death. So you don't have to worry about getting that either. So, and if you're just doing directly into a computer, you do run that risk of that computer failing. On you. Yeah. So there's so many other factors.
At Audioscape.
What Audioscape beach balls?
Just get beach balls, and it's people go check it out. Go, hold on a second.
Oh yeah, I mean,
spinning beach ball.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. I gotta pitch this. All right, we are looking for new merch ideas. So that actually works. I mean, you got yo-yos. So I mean, we would never have thought of yo-yos. So, but so now that we've gotten through like how your recording and everything is, what are some tips that you have for solo acts that are trying to do everything themselves? Because you do a lot on your own.
If you're working solo, utilize some templates, not other people's templates, but templates for you. Create templates how you work.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things is when you're working by yourself is that you're changing sides of the brain. You're going from the technical side to the creative side, technical side, creative side. And the more you do it, the faster you get it switching. But your creative side goes, I got this great idea for a song or part, and you go, okay, I got to record it. And you shut that side of the brain down for a second. And the other side of the brain starts up and goes, oh, you want to record that? Okay, so open the file. And then, oh, wait, you forgot to move the microphone. Is the phantom power on? And all this stuff. And what's the input channel? And is the, this? And then it goes, okay, I think we're ready to go. And it shuts down. And your creative side goes, really? It took that long? I don't remember what I was going to play now.
Yeah, that's...
So if you have templates, you go, I have this idea for a song or part or whatever. Open a template, find a track that's already labeled, hit the record button. And start instead of having to deal with all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, and templates, I mean, put as much stuff in your template as possible. Don't force your creativity, but like I have, so it's as far as in Pro Tools, I have Superior Drummer 3, and I made a house drum kit as if I was back in my studio and had one drum kit and two snare drums. Ooh. So that's the same kit. I can change it later on in the mix if I want, or I can hire someone to play real drums or when I mic it up. But I treat it as if that's the drum kit. I'm not going to go spending minutes, hours searching to, is this the right drum kit? You don't know that. No. But if you were in a studio and you had a drum kit, you wouldn't be going, is this the right drum? You track the drums.
Yeah.
Maybe you might go, I have two different extreme snare drums. So call that up. Yeah, this is the right snare drum. Is it a ballad snare drum or is it a tight, funky snare drum? Whatever. I have an organ instrument track, and it's got just an organ patch that I like. It might not be the right one, but it's a starting point.
Yeah.
I have a piano, and I have a piano in my room. But I have a piano track there with the piano say it's the house piano sound. Ooh. And I can change that later on. That's a cool, on today's technology. Percussion instruments. And so I have virtual percussion instruments set up. I have my real percussion instruments. So if I'm tracking guitar and I go, I need shaker just to start, I'm not going to go record a shaker. I'm going to paste and copy and paste and put a shaker track. Later on, I'll go, all right, I know where the breaks are. So I'm going to go replace that or add to it with a real shaker. I have a bean. I'm from Mexico. Ooh. I have a couple of different shakers. That's when I'm going to figure out what's the right one.
Do you have the fish?
I don't have a fish. I'm not good at that. It takes talent to play.
One of those. You don't have one of those?
I have a friend, Monette Marino, great percussionist. She can, I'm like, I'm not going to, I got to take lessons.
I mean, when the pandemic started, I taught myself how to play drums. Well,
cool.
Taught myself, I don't know. I just sat there. Watching videos and just went from there because I am not good at programming drums.
Okay.
I've tried. Yeah. But that's why I send all my stuff to Justin.
Okay.
I'll put down the most basic beat. I know it's nothing that it's going to sound like. Yep. And then I just send it to him. And then I just go, do your magic. So,
but the thing is you don't get hung up.
Well, see, I get caught up a lot because I do a lot of stuff solo as well. I'm trying to get back into doing the whole band thing, like a legit band, not the other band's a legit band too. But one that sounds like what I sound like inside, I guess. Just something that's a expression of myself. Okay. But and others. But when it comes to me doing solo recording, like I was saying, as yourself, I have gotten into habits of wanting to find the perfect sound first, like what I hear in my head, and trying to find that sound, whether it be a drum sound or whatever. And next thing I know, it's been 2 hours.
It's a slippery slope.
The idea that I thought I had is gone, and I just wasted 2 hours.
It's a slippery slope.
Trying to find a sound.
I would say to you, because I taught recording techniques and production at the College of Santa Fe years ago, and I was trying to get my goal was to get my students to be able to do a demo, from start to finish, to mix in 45 minutes. You can always go back and change stuff. It's a demo.
Yeah.
All right, you did a demo, and we have the ability now to record a demo and then go, all right, this is the right vibe, stuff like that. Let me find the right, for the mix now, let me find the right drum set sound. Let me find the right piano sound. So there are things that are key elements to making the sound of the song. Again, you would put that in your template, your choices in your favorites folder for synthesizers. But I would say focus on whatever your main instrument. If guitar is your main instrument, then you want to try and get the right sound from the start.
Yeah.
Everything else is support at start. So you should try and focus on your main instrument that's part of your sound. You're also developing your sound, who you are.
Yeah.
So if you're a guitar player, your guitar sound is a key element in that.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
But drum sound is not.
No, it's, yeah.
So again, you have to go, is it an acoustic sounding kit? Is it a electronic sounding kit? Is it a metal kit or a rock kit? So if you're writing mostly rock stuff and it's more of an organic thing, then find a great acoustic drum kit in your library and make that your starting point. You can always change that later. You shouldn't get stuck on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Just get the tempo and then just keep that.
Yeah, and especially if you're sending it off to someone else to do.
Like, yeah, I sent it off to Justin because he's just he's like a god with doing the programming and everything. Plus, I told him I was like, I'm kind of breaking away from the genre that I've been so comfortable with. Okay. So, and he's been a big help with it. So I mean, it's been great. It's good to have those kinds of people in your life. Though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, whenever it's just. Like I said, it's just getting into the flow. Also, I'll find myself getting bored when I'm sometimes but then again, that might just go with feeling uninspired, but trying to force something. Okay. And so I'll sit there and be like, oh, maybe I won't start this on guitar this time, even though guitar is my main instrument.
Go with your strengths.
Yeah, I'm learning that.
Go with your strengths.
I'm learning that. It's taken me 34 years, but I am learning it.
On your 10th record, you go, you know what? I'm not going to start this on the movie.
No, well, I got to start the first one first.
So right now, roll with your strengths. The guitar's your strength, roll with it.
All right, then I'm not breaking away from punk rock anytime soon. But I'll have to play you what Justin and I are kind of cooking up right now.
And I'm sorry, in the same thing. So you can get the song down with guitar. Yeah. Right?
And then add
it's a demo.
Else. Yeah.
And then once you have the song, go, this is the structure, this is the melody, this is what I want, but I want to start it with a keyboard. Now you can go, now that you have the song fleshed out, you can go back and listen to, you can, sit there and try, because if you have a digital workstation, you got to have a minimum of like 5,000 keyboard sounds. Everyone comes with stuff, and then you buy things. So then you can sit there and just dig out, is that the right sound? No. Is this the right sound? No. Is this the right sound? You can sit there changing sounds. You can't do that when you're trying to get it started, because you won't get started.
I've also been doing this new exercise, like when it comes to for writing and everything, because of just being by myself, is just have the guitar, holding it, put something on, watch something, and then see what comes out of you. Okay. By that, don't be influenced by something or think that you have to sound a certain way or whatever. Like, it's just obviously if it's your strengths, then stick with your strengths. But which I still need to learn. But that's why I talk to you and other very talented people who have figured that out, whereas I may still be figuring it out, which is always good. But he's just taking photos. Okay, I didn't know what was going on. This is the most unprofessional podcast. I don't know if you know that. And like, we're very professional, actually. We have people crawl on the ground and hand us notes out of frame. But do we pose for a photo? You want to pose for a photo? So,
Can you text me someone else? Just a couple.
Yeah. So, all right. So, any other tips that you have for anybody, or is that like that's basically like the groundwork?
Yeah. Try not to get stuck. Practice switching back and forth.
Yeah.
the two sides of the brain. This is not something necessarily for beginners, but I was explaining to Justin earlier that I learned something. I played with Stuart Copeland for a minute, and we were at his studio and we trio tracked some stuff, and he decided he wanted to do some percussion overdubs on things, and he was looking for his in-ears. He was like, "Where are my in-ears?" And I'm like, "Why is he looking for his in-ears?" And he was looking for his in-ear monitors, wireless in-ears. I'm like, what? And so he found them, and he put them on. He already had a mix coming out to them. And he walked around in the room, and he had a little remote on his phone, and he tracked percussion. He could go anywhere in the studio and track because he was monitoring.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that is genius. And I've been doing that since.
Oh, really?
I've been doing that since, even though I'm in a small room. But when you're
at least you don't got to go far.
It's not far, but like if I was recording you playing acoustic guitar, so I have microphones around you and stuff like that. If I want to check for phase and stuff like that, and see if I can find the right sound, the right spot for the microphone to sound, I either have to have headphones on a long cable, and I'm walking around and hopefully not knocking anything over with the cable.
Yeah.
Or I go, give me your headphones for a minute so I can listen, and that's what you do. You go, let me see your headphones because I'm standing over there. I'm not by my board or anything, and I can't have the speakers on because I got the microphones live. Wow. So by having, they're not for necessarily critical listening, but I can hear phase. I can hear this sounds good. And it might be this might be too bright, but it could also be the wireless pack and stuff like that. But I can move the microphone and go, oh yeah, this is the spot. This is the spot. And so it's great for that.
Well, so Stuart Copeland taught you something new?
Absolutely.
So that's awesome.
It's also it was a trip playing with Stuart Copeland. It was also a trip playing with Stuart Copeland because every time you hit a splash cymbal, you're like, oh my God. It's like no one else had ever hit a splash cymbal before him because he was amazing. It's just I think it's Stuart with the splash cymbals.
Oh my goodness. I would have loved to have been in that room just to watch it all go down.
I'd like to be back in that room.
Stuart, you heard him. He wants to be back in that room.
Hey, Stuart. He's doing the police deranged now.
The police deranged.
Yeah, he rearranged classic police songs. They're all classic.
Oh,
for orchestra.
Oh,
he's playing
that
with
is
orchestra.
So cool.
Amazing.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Was it everything she does is magic? I would love to hear that, like an orchestral version. That's a good song. I'm sorry. That's a really good song. But all their songs are really good.
Yeah.
So it looks like we have a live performance coming from you and also Katie Martin.
Yeah.
So, we've seen you guys perform before. We've always been in awe ever since. So it's going to be a blast seeing you again doing this. Where can people check you out? Like
LarryMitchell.com. Mm-hmm. I do a live stream, 2 live streams a week. I do an acoustic guitar based live stream on Sunday nights at 9:00, and an electric guitar live stream on Tuesday nights at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time p.m. And they're both on Twitch every week.
Nice. Not just for gaming.
Not just for gaming. Twitch, and it's twitch.tv/Mr. Larry Mitchell, MrLarryMitchell. And occasionally I go back and do it all on, I do specials, like I just did my New Year's Eve and Christmas special, which Katie was on the New Year's Eve special. Katie was on both, actually.
Oh, okay.
On Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time. But
nice.
Pretty much every week is on Twitch.
All right. Yeah. I'm not on Facebook, so I never know what's going on. But
okay.
It's okay. Instagram. That's where we go. But all right. Well, all right. So I got one more question for you.
Sure.
Since last time we talked, have you seen a ghost
Have I seen a ghost?
or an alien or a UFO? Have you seen anything crazy?
I might have seen a ghost too. Well, yesterday, the lights were flickering in my cottage that I'm in at the ACA. It was a little interesting. And today, I had one of those weird dreams where I think Katie called it dream paralysis, where
where you couldn't move?
I was in a dream. I wanted to get up and I could not get up.
Yep.
And I was screaming. I heard in my dream, I was in the bed in the cottage and I heard someone come in, was in the kitchen.
Oh.
And I was screaming to myself, get up and see what's going on. And it was really hard for me to get up. I could not move. Finally, I got up and I looked and there was nobody in the kitchen, but it was a creepy dream.
Well, I'm glad that you're here now.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Have you seen any gators lately?
Have I seen any gators lately? Dude, we had a hurricane. Yeah,
I know.
I've seen some gators.
Oh, that's a little scary.
I've seen some gators, man. You got some. They're around there. If you walk out back of this place, there's probably a gator back there.
I don't want to know.
Well, his name's Gerald. He's just gonna. He's cool. He's like, get out of me, swamp, and you're just like, stop. You're not Shrek.
No.
Well, Larry, it's been great seeing you again, but I am now gonna let's wrap this up and then let's get you and Katie
Awesome.
all set up and let's have a blast.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
So, peace, I guess. Is that what we do? Is that what we're doing? There's no sign off. Do I do a sign off? Is that what we do? This is the sign off. We're doing it right now. We're just waving. Right. Sign off, wave. Peace. See you at NAMM.
Vulcan peace.
Oh.